You know what I'm saying? You gotta control it, and that's what I'm talking about. The same thing for your brain. You gotta control your brain. You gotta control your mind. You got to because the moment you look away, that motherfucker will break through, break through the cage and go crazy. Like it might go bite somebody and everything. Like give you a life sentence or whatever. Like I'm telling you, you gotta keep your mind in the cage. You gotta keep that shit locked up. Like you gotta keep an eye on it. Like you don't got no little poodle, and if you got a little poodle, that shit still do a lot of barking, and it get you in situations with big ass dogs and get your ass bit. So you gotta be careful, like how you know what I'm saying, not controlling your brain. You can't just what I'm saying, like let your brain off the leash or just let it out the cage. Because if you let it out the cage, like I'm telling you, man, that shit run away from you. It'll run away from you, and somebody else will you know what I'm saying, find your brain and train it and put it in the cage for you, just like a lost dog. Yeah. Oh, hey, little doggy. Yeah, I found you. That's your brain, and they could take that shit, mold it, and put it in their own little thing, and they control it. So you gotta keep your shit together, like, cause if you don't, I'm telling you, man, that shit get wicked, man. That shit get ugly for you, man. You gotta keep a close eye on it. You gotta feed it the right thing. You gotta feed it the right food. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody know not to get their dog chocolate or peanut butter. Is it peanut butter? Whatever. Like everybody know that shit, man. So you just gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta treat your brain right. But people don't really think about it like that. Like they just think about it like because the thing is, like social media, uh, foods, smoking, alcohol, all these different things are food for your brain. Like I was finna go get a vape yesterday, and I looked outside the store. God sent me a sign, and it said the reason you can't stop smoking is because nicotine has something that does something to your brain that stops you from, you know what I'm saying, wanting to quit. I'm like, damn, that's really fucked up, but that's really what it is. Like everything is something to imitate or to do something to your brain to cause you to not be able to control it. So the inner you, your willpower, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to think like that, I think it's your willpower, your will. You know what I'm saying? Because your will, like whatever your will is, your heart, you know, you have to, like, it's gonna be patient with you too. It's gonna let you make the wrong decisions, but it's just gonna give you feelings like guilt or grief or sadness or you know what I'm saying. It's gonna make you feel them type of ways when you go against it. But you know, when you don't feed into all that shit and you know what I'm saying, and you keep your brain on a leash, like that's the only thing you need to keep on the leash. Don't try to control nobody else's brain. Just control your own shit. Keep your own shit on the cage. Yeah, every now and then somebody get a runaway brain and they might come up to you, and maybe you can help them out, put their brain back in the cage. That's all you doing, but you're not trying to control that shit. You shouldn't be, because now you got too many dogs. You got too many different dogs, cats. You got too many different ones, and then you have to, and then if you feeding all them different brains, you have to go to the store and buy the food for it too. You got to take care of all them shits. So it's like, man, just focus on your own brain and keep your dog in the cage, and your dog is not a dog. Sometimes that shit a lion. That shit a whole beast. And that shit done been through the trenches of Africa. You know what I'm saying? So certain people, they different animals that locked up in the cage. You got to figure out which one you is. You know what I'm saying? Like the harder your struggle is, the bigger monster you probably is inside. But if you let them monsters get loose, man, that shit. But I'm telling you, that shit go crazy, man. But a lot of people, some people got help to tame their beasts. But certain beasts are so big, people don't even want to help you tame them. They just let that motherfucker run wild, and they want the vultures or the hunters just to shoot them down, or just to put them in a home, or let the streets eat you up. So you just gotta be careful, like when you tame them beasts. You know what I'm saying? Because God made you, and I feel like God, like no, like he wouldn't have your problems too big to bear with, or in your will you cannot change it, or you cannot You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta have self-discipline. He gives you these skills, but the devil, the devil and God made have these agreement where he gonna give you freedom of will, and the devil is the first thought in your head that tells you to go do the negativity or do the wrong thing. He's the loudest voice in your thoughts, and God is the quietest voice, but he lets a way out. It's always a way out. Either walking away from a situation or, there's, it's so many different. This depends on what we're talking about, but you have to control your beast, your brain. You have to control all of that. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't control it, you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel guilt. You're gonna feel shame. It's a lie to tell you to act without thinking. That is a lie. The opposite of chaos is control. Chaos hates control. Chaos hates structure. Because, if you don't got control, then there's chaos, bro. And that's what's happening in the world right now. These hurricanes and all that shit that be happening, that's because Mother Nature is trying to get control back. Mass chaos happens when there's no control. And after chaos happens, there's control. People are controlled. The world's controlled. Everything is like that, man. But people just fed so much bullshit, so much because they engineer your distractions. They create your distractions to have you have certain thoughts. This is not just throwing it out there. No, they do this purposely, and they got set times they do it, 11, 2, and 6. They do these, and then they have the pornification for you later on at night. Sometimes they keep it through you all during the day because when you release your life force, bro, you can't be creative. You can't think about no new ideas. Man and female, bro, that shit dumbs you down, saturates you, waters you down. Straight up.